get Commonwealth's Attorney Ray Larson. Hello, Ray.
Bonjour. That's French.
Is that one of the words you picked up in France?
Well, yes. But here's what I want. Here's what I wanted to talk. I've been thinking about this because one of the interesting things that people are interested in is who are these personalities. People are kind of fascinated to learn that I am from Washington State and my dad was in the military and moved around, that sort of thing. But I was thinking, let's talk a little bit about Officer Don, because you're not a policeman now. So tell me where you're from.
From Breckenridge County, Kentucky.
Yeah.
I was raised on a farm, actually in Irvington. Well, my farm was in Webster. Twin Webster, that's irrelevant. About 200 people, small town, farm boys scared of farm animals. Pretty much just
Scared of farm animals?
Well, peacocks. If you name an animal on the farm, I can tell you how it defends itself, because I've been attacked by all of them. Cow, peacock, guinea, it doesn't matter. They all have mean streaks. So I decided to get off the farm.
Yeah. Well, but you started getting involved. Here are the things I know about you. But a police officer, you're a pilot, you're a radio superstar. You agreed with that one.
Yeah.
And
face for it. Really?
Yeah, we got that. Well, all right. So you grew up in Irvington, in Breckenridge County. I had a 1956 Chevrolet that blew up in Irvington, Kentucky.
I did not know that. Were you going to Rough River? Where were you going?
I was coming up to Louisville,
Uh-huh.
and because we lived in Henderson at the time, and my 1956 Chevy Bel Air blew up. Right there was a gas station.
There was one,
And
yes.
that was it, and I had to leave my car.
Right there on US 60, right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and so I'm familiar with Irvington. Had to make a number of trips to make installments to get my car out of hock.
Did you spend the night at Trent's Motel?
No, I had somebody come get me.
Because that was my little elementary school sweetheart. It was Carol Trent. Trent's
Yeah.
Hotel. For a brief moment, Irvington roller rink. So she realized I couldn't skate.
Okay, so when did you get yourself? When did the idea of doing radio and flying come into play?
Well, it really has a lot to do with farm work. I just wasn't real good at it. I tried, but Dad would be like, he'd want me to, my father had this thing where we had hogs, right? And so he would force me to ride with him to Irvington Elementary School to take the slop away that the kids, when you finish your tray, you slop it into a barrel and then
Right.
put it out back. And I would have to go to the school and get the slop.
Get the trash.
Get the trash and then take it. We'd feed it to the hogs, which didn't go well because when the kids saw me picking it up the next day, hey, here's something for you, Donnie. And little Donnie Evans, they'd slide it in the barrel. So I was
Humiliated.
Humiliated, yeah. But Dad's like, no, get in, boy. Anyway, but I'd have to carry the bucket of slop to the hogs, and I could only carry half a bucket. I was a little guy, and then when it came time to go feed the cows, then I'd have to take an axe that I couldn't carry and chop the frozen water on the pond and then the hay bale. And I'm like, man, this is work. This is just work. What can I do in Irvington, Kentucky, where I don't have to work? Stripping tobacco really didn't work for me too well. So I thought there was a radio station right down the road in Hardinsburg. So I just sort of walked in there and said, hey, listen.
How old were you?
13.
13.
So I'll make a deal with you. I'll come and I'll take out the trash and I'll change a little sign out front that, they'd have a new saying every day on the sign.
Yeah.
You move the letters around. I'll do whatever you want if you just show me how to be in this nice air-conditioned room and play music. And so Showbiz. So Jim Woolley was the general manager of that station, and he said, all right, if you want to work for nothing for a few months, and we'll see how you do. And I guess he figured that a little kid wouldn't show up. So I showed up. I'd take the Greyhound
13.
bus. 13. I'd take the Greyhound bus from Irvington to Hardinsburg every Saturday, and I'd show up there and do whatever he asked me to do. And then one day, one of the guys, one of the sign-on disc jockeys,
Sign-on
Sunday
means
morning. It means you got to be there at 5 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And if you got drunk the night before, then you may not show up. And so I waited around for that. And when that happened, I was there.
Yeah.
So I got that's.
How'd you get there at 5 in the morning?
Well, I paid Crazy Ray Hardesty to get him gas money
Yeah.
to drive me there at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. But eventually, you just hang around enough, and there you are. And you know, isn't that? And you do the same. I see you do the same thing with interns. You bring interns in, see how much they'll work for nothing, and then maybe they'll have a job someday. Well, I'm just saying, you can weed people out that way. And so and I'm very grateful for Jim Woolley for giving me the chance because you know, I'm sure the first couple of months I was more of a burden than I was a help. You know.
Pull that over there in front of you, Ashley. Now you just get up, talk to that thing like you're a rock star.
And Jim Woolley tolerated me, and in the end, it paid off.
Well, this Ashley Lowry is, matter of fact, now that you have punked me here, is here with us today. Ashley is going to be an intern with us this semester. So, Ashley, don't you believe a word he says. Now, where are you from?
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah. And you come from a military family.
Yep, Army brat.
Yeah, her mother was a sergeant, first sergeant in the Army, and so.
You guys can relate a little bit with the Army brat thing.
Yeah.
Or the Air Force brat. They're
Well,
kind of brats in the Air
yeah,
Force.
yeah. I happen to think Air Force is a little cooler
Yeah.
than the Army, but I guess Ashley would think the Army's cooler than the Air Force,
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's about your career on this show. Got it?
15 minutes.
15
No,
seconds.
15 seconds.
Now
Okay.
back to Ray.
Yeah. Now let's enough about you. Let's get back to me.
And then.
So you were just kind of a vulture.
Oh yeah, you just sort of hang around like a scab, you know, a scab working for nothing, you know, a young scab. You just hang around, do your thing. But really, that's what it boiled down to. Is I learned very young, if you hang out with adults, and you show them respect, and you take an interest in what they're, even if you're not interested. And I tell my daughter this: listen to their stories, you know. Act interested, but don't do it too much, because if you do it too much, then they'll know that you're
Sucking
bullshit.
up.
That's right. There's a fine line there. Look them in the eye, and you know there are just so few kids that really do that, and you can stand out, and you'll get opportunities. And you know I picked that up from my grandfather, who was a command sergeant major in the Army, and he had told me that too. He said, "Shut up, boy, and listen, smile, look people in the eye, and take an interest in what they're telling you."
You know, my wife's mother, who was a teacher, told Betty when she came up all the way up here from downtown Eminence to go to that big school, the University of Kentucky, which was probably 10 times larger than her city that she's from. She said, you sit on the front row, you smile, and you act interested. And that'll help you with your grades. And guess what? It does. Yeah. Okay, so how long did you do that in Hardinsburg?
Well, I did that all through high school, and then of course if you're in radio, you know, the small town, it was WHIC in Hardinsburg. Your next step, you have to move up to a bigger city.
Yeah.
So I had my eye on Owensboro, which is near Henderson, where you're
Right.
from, Evansville. There was a radio station there all the teens listened to. It was 96 STO.
All the teens listen
Yeah,
to?
96 STO, the new 96 STO.
Well, now you told me something about a technique you would use. It was called puking.
Yes.
Well, let's hear it.
96 STO. Hey, it's Officer Don. Actually, when I was Officer Don then, was I Fast Eddie? I don't remember. Chase Daniels, maybe.
Chase Daniels.
Yeah, I had a few names. Chase Daniels, Mark Summers, Jack Daniels at a country station. Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got on it at WSTO, and I worked there part-time while I was working in Hardinsburg, too. On the weekends, I would drive there.
Right.
And I would drive there.
Did
and
you
I would-
become a teen idol?
No, not really. But I tried. Paul Emick was a team idol.
Yeah.
He's on the Weather Channel, you know. But anyway, yeah, he was always a couple years ahead of me. So you know, the whole scam was to be in an air-conditioned room, play music, and not work for a living.
Right.
Until I could become a police officer. And that's the honest truth. I wanted to be a cop since I was, you know.
Why?
You know, I don't know. It's super cheesy, but you know, you remember the bad winter we had in 77?
That's
You went around it. We had,
I was
this
too
is
young.
the cheesiest story ever, but it is the truth. Okay, when you live in the country, you go to the grocery about once a month. You know, you go to town about once a month because that's when you got the money and you get it all at once and whatever, and it's we only have one car, so all that blah, all that stuff. So we're going to the grocery because the winter storm's coming. You've got to get your milk and eggs and all that stuff.
Lay in the provisions.
Yeah, and somehow we wound up running off the road into a snowdrift, me and my mother. And it's so bad we can't get out of the car. I mean, we're stuck in this drift. And after about, of course, we had a car full of food, so we knew it'd be okay. It was fun the first 15 minutes. But, you know, then lo and behold, somebody's digging us out, and it turned out that it was a state trooper that had Russell Campbell that had saw us run off the road.
Had seen
whatever. I didn't have grammatically incorrect. I'm on country station.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he dug us out, and I'll never forget. He still had his trooper hat on. That, you know, that nice,
Right.
those cool uniforms that they
Smokey
wear.
the Bear.
It smelled like Old Spice.
Yeah.
Said, come on out of here. And the cool part was that I just really thought it was just the whole, you know, helping people thing, all that stuff. Plus, my grandfather was a command sergeant major. He didn't have much to say, but he steered me more toward, you know, serving in police versus what he was doing for whatever reason. He had his reasons. And you know, the combination of that, I just wanted to be a police officer, you know. Plus, I was getting beat up a lot, so I figured.
if you had a gun, that would help you.
No, but that was it. And so I knew I wanted to be a cop, and the whole radio thing was honestly, there just wasn't a whole lot. You could either bag groceries at Houchins Market, which was fine, except that was work, or you could work on the farm, and I didn't want to do either. And so I found my little thing there, and there was a man that was nice enough to give me a shot. He's in Campbellsville now. He teaches at Campbellsville University.
But you went to Louisville.
I wound up in Louisville, yeah, because you got to be 21 to be a cop, you know. So,
Yeah.
so in the meantime, you know, I worked at every radio station I could, and you know, if I do something, I want to do the best I can, and so you want to move up in markets. So I went from Breckinridge County to Owensboro to Evansville, and then the next logical jump was Louisville. Radio station at WHAS was big time.
Big station.
And I thought, you know, I want to be the youngest dude to ever work at WHAS. So, and I mooched my way into that too. I just showed up there. They had a conference for National Association of Broadcasters or something, and I showed up and acted like I was part of the conference just to get in the building, and then bumped into the program director. This is going to sound bad, but in the restroom. And
You didn't make eye contact.
I didn't make eye contact.
Okay.
But I did say to him as I'm washing my hands, man, this is a really cool place. He goes, yeah, it really is. I didn't know he was. And I said, you know what, I'm going to work here someday. And he looked at me and said, really? I said, yep. He goes, well, you're awful young. And I said, I know, but I'm the youngest person to ever work here at WHAS. And he goes, really? I said, yeah. He goes, I'm Gary Bruce. And he shook my hand as the program director. And he said, send me a resume. And that was it. And I did, and he wound up hiring me. So I got on there, and this was all before I was 21. Wound up in Lexington working at a radio station. Was going to get on the Louisville Police Department, but at that time, they had some type of hiring mandate where they were focusing on hiring minorities and women, and I didn't feel like that I didn't qualify for that. So I'll try to go to an agency that didn't have that mandate. I don't know what some federal something they had going on or something. So I wound up applying in Lexington and got on. And
Okay, but what about flying? How much time you got?
about a minute and a half.
Give us a short version.
The flying thing was, my buddy his dad was a retired airline pilot and had an airplane, and went back on the farm, and he took us flying, and we sort of taught ourselves to fly, and I figured that.
Well, now, I'll tell you a story that I think is interesting, and that's that you and the kid took the plane.
You know, that's not good for the kids. But yeah, we did, but it was a different world. We would take the plane and take girls flying.
Oh, I got it. This is for this.
And so we figured at some point we better get our license.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you know, he went on to be an airline pilot from there, and you know, I'm what I am. But that was the other interest.
Well,
know.
now you're an accomplished pilot. I mean, you really are qualified to fly almost any kind of airplane.
Well, yeah,
What
they
can't you
say
fly?
that. Well, you know, I mean, give me a book, I guess I can figure it out. But
No,
I'm
no.
a fixed wing commercial pilot, helicopter commercial pilot, and flight instructor. So
Yeah.
you know, a couple hours here and there, I can transition it or whatever. But you know, they all fly alike, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, you teach a lot of people how to fly helicopters.
I appreciate you making this all about me, but that's.
But I think it's interesting. Well, wait a minute.
We have 30
Did you think it was interesting? Get up here and talk. Yeah.
Say yes.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So you're interning. So that's the kissing up part.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
We'll see you next week on Intern.